Do you keep hearing podcast ads, like this one, for example, but always wonder how you actually get involved with them for your own brand or organization? Well, it's easier than you think. We're Acast, and we give you the platform to do it all yourself. Browse thousands of popular podcasts, choose the shows that match your perfect audience, set your budget, and launch. And if you want a hand, our podcast specialists are there to help you launch with confidence. This is podcast advertising without barriers. Get started at acast.com/advertise.
You're eating a cake, but it's not a cake. It's a placenta.
Eavesdroppin.
Ah, there you are. Michelle.
I am here. You are there.
I'm there, you're here. No, that's wrong.
Oh my God, is it wrong already?
I said it wrong.
Is this how it's going to go today?
Yes, I'm here, you're there, and they are everywhere. They being our eavesdroppers.
Oh God, our gorgeous eavesdroppers. Don't you bloody love
They're
them?
so gorgeous.
I know. Oh, we're so lucky.
I'm beside myself with love for my eavesdroppers. You're our eavesdroppers, in fact.
Our eavesdroppers. And before we get into
share them.
Some specifics of some special eavesdroppers, I want to introduce myself.
Oh, okay. You first.
I'm Michelle.
I'm first.
Oh.
Michelle. Okay. I'm Geordie. I'm last.
Oh, we were going in height order. That's why.
All right. What, from smallest to highest?
Yes, from smallest to tallest. That was always how it went. I was always on the end of the school photos. I was always on the end.
Sitting or kneeling at the front?
Sitting. I could have been kneeling because I was that small.
Or sitting with your legs crossed. The front row was often legs crossed, wasn't it?
No, it was knees together.
Knees together. We did do that as well. I think for infant school, we had a row at the front with legs crossed. And then there was some boys on knees, I think.
Okay.
Because you're in a pyramid kind of style, going up and up and up.
No, we had chairs. We could afford chairs at our school.
Oh, maybe we did. No, I think we were all standing on grass. It was a very rural school that I went to.
I want to see that. Let's post that on the Patreon.
I'll see if I can find them. And the boys on the back row with their arms folded. And it was the same boy at the back for the whole of my school career.
Okay.
Heinrich Kreet, shout out Heinrich Kreet.
Oh,
he was the tall German one at the back.
Jesus, Heinrich.
Always centre back, Heinrich, yeah.
Oh.
What happened to Heinrich, I wonder?
Oh, Google that guy.
Are you listening?
Oh, he's an eavesdropper.
Does anyone know Heinrich Kreet?
Did he do that thing that all the boys used to do where they would get their hands under their biceps to look like they had muscles?
No, he wasn't doing that.
Oh, okay.
No. He was a runner. He was a very fast runner. He always won the cross country, which
God.
I would walk. Yeah.
I was a cross-country runner, but God, I could always taste blood in my mouth.
Ew.
I don't know what it was. It wasn't great.
One time I was running the cross country and talking at the same time. I sucked a fly in through my nose and it came out of my mouth.
Oh.
That's Australian childhood memories.
Yes, I remember speaking to my sister's daughter and a fly went up her nose and we both started just losing it. And then she had to
cough it out.
Well, she had to snort it out.
Oh.
It's Australia.
It does happen. They get in everywhere.
Yes.
Listen, talking about Australia and hot weather, here in the UK, we had a bit of a heat wave again. Apparently, I know it's boring to talk about weather and everything, but stick with this. Apparently, this is the lowest temperature we are going to experience going forward for summer. Isn't that shocking?
Fuck.
We were up to 37 one day here in London. I was chatting with one of our eavesdroppers who reported back after listening to a fabulous episode. Of course, it's Charlene Happy Chappy. We got into it a little bit. I didn't tell her I was going to read this out, but I really must. She texted me on my husband's birthday, one of the hottest days, and I was wearing a bikini just for around the house.
Yes.
Because I would never, ever wear a bikini over 50. Really, it's just not done.
I would wear them.
Well, you can. I can't. The family of four were spraying each other with a hose in the garden just to relieve ourselves of the heat. And I said to her, I feel sorry for the neighbours because obviously I'm flopping around in my green bikini. That's right. I said I was doing it for my husband because it's his birthday. She said, I don't blame you. If I wasn't at work, I'd be dressed the same. Ha ha. I'm sure he is very pleased. My husband. And then she said, a friend of my parents would wear nothing in her garden when it got hot. She did it a few times until she realised her house was on a bus route and was giving a free show to the travellers on the top deck. That killed me.
Free show.
I had to just share that, Charlene, because it was so funny. But speaking of people writing in, we also had, we gave some of our eavesdroppers a little shout out recently. One of them got back. It's Cal the Pal. He said, "Hey, gals, loved my little shout out on the ep a few weeks ago. And the ep, the Mormons have always fascinated me." That was the Doomsday Mum that I did recently. The Mormons have even fascinated me, even though I get them confused with Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, Cal.
Do you know what?
They're different.
It all goes in one ear out the other. I don't remember all these religious things. Like, they're all the same, but not the same.
Well, he goes on to say, "Anyways, still look forward to listening to you guys every time I have a nice long journey. Lots of love, Cal the Pal."
Oh,
he's
Cal,
gorgeous.
you're always our pal.
He's our pal
Yeah,
forever and
you're
ever.
lovely.
Amen. Yeah.
Well, look, I would like to also give a shout out to one of our eavesdroppers.
Yes.
It is no one other than the gorgeous Safka. She's had a little momo in hospital.
What's a momo? Is that like a dumpling?
A moment.
Oh.
It's a moment.
What?
Momo is actually a
dumpling.
What is it? It's a Nepalese dumpling, I believe. I was trying to make light of the fact that she's been in hospital. She's had a mo.
Oh,
she's had a moment in hospital.
Taking some time out in Hossie.
Don't think it's a welcome time out in hospital.
She's checked herself in.
No, I don't think it's like a hotel where you...
Sorry, Safka, we're laughing here. You've
We're
probably
not.
had a terrible time. Are you okay?
Yes, we hope you're okay. And we are sending big eavesdropping hugs to you.
Big hugs to you.
We hope you're recovering well.
Yes, speedy recovery. We love you. We're thinking of you. Sending healing vibes.
Exactly. And I'm sure you are now able to watch a million documentaries and give us all of those telerecs. Speaking of which, I do have a telereq.
Do you?
I do. From Jen the Hen.
Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing what Jen's been goggling on the box.
She skipped season 1 and 2, went straight to season 3.
Of what?
America's Sweethearts, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Oh, have you spoken about this before? Is it a reality show?
It's basically a fly on the wall documentary style. It's very much like Cheer, which I was obsessed with a few years back about cheerleaders. So it's all about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, the DCC. I just finished season 1 and absolutely love it because I love a pom-pom. I love a dance routine. You know, they're doing high kicks that go directly into the splits. These girls are amazing. But they push these girls, I tell you.
I bet they do.
The thing is, they're all Christian girls. They're very nice. They all believe in God. God loves Dallas. All of that. I'm obsessed. But I love a dancing show. So if you're into that kind of thing, DCC, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, America's Sweethearts, it's a rec.
Okay, thanks for the rec. I have another rec. It's from another eavesdropper. It's not a TV rec, though. It's a recommendation for us to release the McCracken Poston Jr. interview that's over exclusively for our Patreons. A patron by the name of Janneke from Amsterdam said, "He is effing gorgeous. Everybody needs to see this interview. When are you going to put it free to air?" She wants us to share the love.
Right. Okay.
Of McCracken Poston Jr. He's getting fans everywhere.
Oh, and they're all girls. I'll tell you. Tell you that for free. Right. Thank you very much for the request. Keep an eye out for that this month of July. We
Fantastic.
will pop that over on the YouTube so you can see his gorgeous face. And I'll tell you, he is just so lovely. And when you see him speaking, you will be, what did your husband say? Moon eyes. You'll have moon eyes like me when you watch him. He's just wonderful. So look out for that over on the Eavesdroppin YouTube channel.
He's a great storyteller.
He really is.
You've got to go to his Facebook page, McCracken Poston Jr. Go and follow all of his travels as he promotes the book Zenith Man, about the Alvin Ridley story that Michelle covered so beautifully on the podcast, which is how we got in touch with him in the first place, or he got in touch with us.
Yes.
Another Patreon star of the month before, Jürgen from Bergen, aka Mono Martian, his single has just dropped.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
It's called Fear of Losing You by Mono Martian. Everybody go out and download it now on all your streaming devices or buy the record in the shops, if that's what people do these days. I asked him if there's any other things he'd like us to announce, and he said, No, that's my only news.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much, Jürgen. We'd given our patrons a sneak preview of that. So lovely that everyone else can now share the love.
That's right. We are the guys that have it all here first. And you guys, because you're our eavesdroppers, you get to participate in that. www.patreon.com/eavesdroppin.
Eavesdroppin podcast, I believe.
For all the extra goodies.
If you're not a patron, why the bloody hell not, as I always say. So rude.
She always says it. I find it a little aggressive. I hope it doesn't scare you off because we do appreciate a coin dropping into our slots.
See, whenever you say that, I just feel like you're inviting people to put a coin in your bum crack. That's what I think of when you say, pop it in our slot or something worse.
Well,
sorry, it is disgusting.
I apologise for my colleague's
we'll take
dirty
your coins.
mind. Exactly. Thank you. www.eavesdroppinpodcast.com. Hello at eavesdroppinpodcast.com. Email us a story.
Share, like, all of that.
Follow our social media.
Like, subscribe.
Instagram and Facebook.
Yep, you know what to
At
do.
eavesdroppin_.
You got that right.
Eavesdroppin. Reggie.
Now, I wanted to hark back to something from a couple of episodes ago.
Back.
I'm harking. We were talking about Swedish.
Yeah.
And I talked about the moderkaka,
Yes.
which is basically mother cake,
Yeah.
placenta. I was speaking to a German girl at work.
Oh.
She said, oh, it's very similar in German.
Oh, shit.
That's a really terrible accent. It's very similar in German.
Oh, are you trying to do Marlene Dietrich or something?
I don't know. And then she said, would you eat your placenta?
We'll meet again. Right, go on.
I said, I've never had a baby, so...
You've never had a baby, so you wouldn't eat placenta. Are you going to ask me if I would eat mine?
Yes, I am.
Absolutely not.
She said it's a thing.
I've heard about that. It's been a thing for millennia, but I'm not eating that.
I don't see the point of eating it. I know people get it and they
Blend
pop
it.
a tree on top or, all of the cord blood and all of that stuff saves lives. But
I don't know what happens.
to chomp down on a
to it.
placenta?
No,
On a moderkaka? You're going to do that?
I'm not doing that.
I know it sounds nice. You're eating a cake, but it's not a cake. It's a placenta.
Yeah. And it wasn't there before. It formed from something. It wasn't like it's not part of your body. It's temporary.
Well, it is. Your body made it.
It made it, exactly. Like
Yes.
it makes a poo or a wee
or a snot.
A snot or something.
Yes, I know, we do.
And it does hold, the life, does keep the life going inside.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Oh, God, this is all too much.
But you don't need to chomp on that. All right. Well, I'll switch then
Yeah.
to, she also told me, and this is for all the ladies out there.
All right, ladies.
She also told me about a fantastic herb called lady's mantle.
Oh,
It is a women's herb and it is meant to be fantastic for all of these women's things.
Okay, the things.
And women, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Check that out. She swears by it. And in fact, I looked it up. It grows here in the Swiss Alps. So I thought, fuck that. I'm going to go look for it. It's growing in my bloody garden. I thought it was a weed.
Wonderful.
So I've been making tea out of it. You can have tinctures, all that kind of stuff. I think you need to do it for more than 2 days, which is what I've been doing it for. But yes, I will report back and let you know if there's any benefits.
Wonderful. Give that a good rinse first, Michelle, in case the dog's done a pee-pee on it.
Oh, yes, you always do. You've got to wash these things.
Yeah.
And one last shout out here. This is for myself.
Oh, shout out to me.
A literal shout out for Rex. If you have any weird and wonderful ways that get you off to sleep and keep you asleep during the night, I'm looking for sleep remedies because I'm not sleeping so well lately. So please write in. I'd love to know if you have any thoughts, theories, ideas, remedies, all of it.
Project Michelle Go Bye-Byes. Everybody write in.
Yes, please.
Hey, Michelle, I've got a quick story to tell you that I read recently. Everybody's probably aware of it by now. I bet you're not, though.
Oh, that's rude. Okay.
Well, it's just that you probably, you don't always, you're not at the cutting edge sometimes of all the gossip from Hollywood.
Oh, it's gossip. Okay, yeah, no,
Yes.
that's true.
It's a wild story, and it came to my attention through social media as usual, the old doom scrolling. Back in 1996, the cast and crew of the Titanic film by James Cameron, they were all working in Nova Scotia, which is where they must have done the live shots, when what should have been a normal day on set turned into something that sounds more like a plot of a movie, but not a James Cameron movie.
Okay.
Around 80 people, including the director James Cameron and actor Bill Paxton, who I don't remember being in the Titanic film. Who was he?
God knows.
What was he, the captain? They were all rushed to hospital after eating the food from the catering department that had apparently been spiked with PCP, aka angel dust. That's the stuff that James Brown went mad on one time.
What the hell?
I know.
That's so fucking illegal to
know.
drug people without their consent.
Yes.
This is terrible.
It's a powerful hallucinogenic drug, and things got real weird real fast. Witnesses reported James Cameron running around shouting, "There's something in me, get it out," while the rest of the affected people formed a conga line in the hospital.
Oh, God. Okay, so some people had a bad trip. Some people
had a great time.
Yeah, they were on an island doing a conga.
The mystery had never really been solved, but police investigated the incident and then closed it in 1999 without identifying a culprit. But now, nearly 30 years later, new developments mean previously redacted witness statements could finally be released, potentially revealing what actually happened that day. At the time, the owner of the catering company blamed the Hollywood crowd and their alleged fondness for recreational substances. James Cameron, meanwhile, later suggested the poisoning may have been an act of revenge against the caterers after an argument, although one popular theory was that someone was trying to get back at him personally.
Right.
And before you ask, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet weren't affected because they weren't filming that day, meaning Jack and Rose narrowly avoided getting freaky. And they were quite young at the time. As for James Cameron, though, he appeared to recover, although when you consider the later years he spent making films about blue aliens, maybe some of it kind of stayed in his system all these years. It reminds me of, I've said it before, The Studio, a comedy TV show on Apple. And Bryan Cranston's character in that, in the final episode, goes to a Hollywood party with the Hollywood crowd. Something goes wrong at the buffet. And what happens after that is just laugh out loud, side splitting. I've never laughed so much watching TV.
All right. As I said, I started that and went, I don't think this is for me. And I love Bryan Cranston.
You need to watch it till the end.
Give it a chance, because after I binge all of DCC, America's Sweethearts, I'm going to need something. So fantastic. Thanks for the rec.
Telerex for sure. Telerex, one more. I'm watching telly. You're watching telly. We're watching telly on the telly. It's the television.
Right. Well, thank you for that hallucinogenic tale of Hollywood. I have something completely different for you this week. Nothing to do with drugs.
Fabulous.
And nothing to do with Hollywood, and everything to do with missing persons.
Oh.
Yeah. So I actually had read this Guardian.
I'd
actually read this Guardian article about an organisation called Locate International, which is basically a volunteer-driven cold case charity set up by ex-policemen, actually, who always had these cases that just stuck with them. So when they retired, they sort of set up this charity. It's kind of to step into that space where cold cases, for missing persons and unidentified bodies have fallen through the cracks, sometimes for decades, because as we know, police don't have the resources to keep looking for these people. So this organisation doesn't actually replace police work, but they do work alongside them, and they reopen cases that have maybe stalled, and they use all these modern tools that we have now, just put a pair of fresh eyes on it. And what I found really interesting is that there are more than 300 volunteers in this organisation. And it's not just ex-police. You've got forensic scientists and genealogists and academics and lawyers and researchers and people who are used to digging through archives. And they're all bringing different angles to these cold cases. And none of it's paid work. So it runs on donations. I'll put a link because if this touches you in any way, maybe you want to donate to the good work they're doing.
Yeah.
They're looking at things with new ways of looking at genealogy and DNA used to trace family links, and they're working through the old cases.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is taking unidentified people who are often just listed as John or Jane Doe, and they're trying to give the names back to these people. In other cases, it's about missing people where there's been no resolution and families are still stuck in limbo. But either way, the focus is on turning cold cases into active investigations again. So I thought I'd look at some of the cases that Locate have been working on. And we're going to start with a missing person called Melanie Hall. So she was 25 years old when she disappeared after a night out in Bath in the UK in June 1996. She'd recently graduated from the University of Bath with a degree in sociology and psychology, which is something that her family had said had been her dream.
Right.
You know, she'd worked towards this degree for 4 years. Plus, she was working as a clerical officer at the Royal United Hospital. And by all accounts, she loved her life. She had plenty to look forward to, which is one of the reasons why her disappearance immediately was like, this is not right. You know, she's not just taken her own life or...
It was very out of character.
Very out of character. So on Saturday, 8th of June, 1996, Melanie had arranged to stay with her boyfriend, Philip Karlbaum, after a night out, and her mum had dropped her off at his house before the pair headed into Bath with another couple for an evening out at Cadillac's nightclub.
Cadillacs.
Sounds good.
See you down at Cadillacs.
Oh, no.
Are you going to Caddies tonight?
Oh, God, that just reminds me.
That sounds like the cat club.
It does.
For me, it was the Catalina Country Club was the place where everybody would try and get in for underage drinking.
Yeah.
Down the cat club. You going to cat club tonight?
Catalina's, yeah.
To watch another band play Black Velvet again.
Oh, my God.
Black Velvet. Honestly, it's just classic. You could set it like a clock.
Yeah. But did it get the crowd going?
Yeah, they all loved it.
See?
Nowadays, when I go back to Australia, it's Sex on Fire by, what's
Oh,
that band? The
God.
Hairy Boys.
Yes. The sex is on fire.
That's it.
Yes.
Your face. It's times like this I wish we were a video.
A video
Podcast.
podcast. You know, we could just do that one time for shits and giggles and pop it on the Patreon. If you want to see that, if you want to see me looking ropey as hell and pulling
In a
bad
robe.
faces in a robe. Actually, I haven't got the robe on today, but if you want to see that, let us know. Maybe we'll consider it.
We'll dress up for it in our robes.
Oh, put a bit of lippy on with a robe. Then I'd really feel bold and beautiful. Getting back to bloody Cadillacs. Cadillacs
Sorry.
Club.
We segued.
I know. And poor old Melanie Hall. She went there with her boyfriend. It was one of the kind of hot clubs at the time. And as the night went on, it turns out things weren't straightforward with what happened, because witnesses later said Melanie and Philip had argued inside the club after he allegedly saw her dancing with another dude. So
Right.
Philip left the nightclub upset while Melanie stayed behind. And that was actually the last confirmed time anyone who knew her would see her alive. So the final confirmed sighting put Melanie sitting on a stool inside Cadillac's around 1:10 in the morning on the 9th of June. But then what happened after that has never been fully established, although witness accounts over the next few months did help investigators piece together a possible sequence of events. So one witness believed they saw a woman matching Melanie's description leave the nightclub with a guy. Two women who were walking along Walcott Street, which is where Cadillac's was, after leaving Domino's Pizza at around 2 a.m. They obviously had the munchies.
Good night out.
Good night
Yeah.
out. They reported seeing a woman they thought was Melanie arguing with a man in the doorway of St. Michael's Church Hall.
Oh.
Another witness, further along the same road, reported seeing a man apparently coaxing a reluctant woman into a car. And they believe that might also have been Melanie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but none of these sightings, Geordie, were ever 100% confirmed.
Sure.
But together they did sort of suggest that maybe Melanie might not have simply walked away alone after leaving the club. So when she didn't turn up at work, the alarm bell started ringing, and Melanie's parents reported her missing on the 11th of June after she hadn't come home and hadn't contacted anyone.
Oh, God, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and like we said, this was out of character.
Yeah.
So police quickly launched a quite major investigation, and they researched the River Avon. They interviewed thousands of nightclub goers. They interviewed taxi drivers, local residents, and they repeatedly appealed for information. And a £10,000 reward was offered. And remember, this is in mid-90s, so that's quite a sum at that time.
And not a lot of CCTV. It wasn't peak CCTV time.
It wasn't.
I think. 96, yeah.
But it was on Crime Watch. It was on Crime Stoppers.
Yep.
They all broadcast appeals in the hope that someone had seen something. Yeah. But there was no trace. And as the years went by, the investigation did remain active, but there were no major breakthroughs. Eventually, though, I said breakthroughs. There were no major breakthroughs. What am I saying? After 8 years without any evidence that Melanie was still alive, she was declared legally dead in November 2004. What is going on?
Got it. 2004.
2004. I mean, that doesn't bring closure to a family because no one has any answers.
No, without any conclusive proof, it must just always be going through your mind. Where, what, how? Is she still alive?
Well, 13 years after she disappeared, the investigation did take a turn. So on the 5th of October 2009, a motorway maintenance worker clearing some, crap off the side of a slip road at junction 14 off the M5 near Thornbury in South Gloucestershire.
Right.
He found a black plastic bin bag.
Oh, fuck.
Inside human bones.
No.
Yeah. And then further searches of that area uncovered additional bones buried and scattered around a nearby field. They found a skull, a pelvis, and a thigh bone. They also found a piece of jewellery, and they showed it to Melanie's parents, who immediately recognised it as belonging to their daughter.
My heart just sank.
Yeah, it's awful. Even with all that, investigators waited until formal identification could be carried out.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, dental records did confirm the remains were Melanie Hall's. Then the post-mortem examination revealed that she had suffered severe blunt force injuries to her head, including fractures to her skull, cheekbone and jaw.
So a sustained attack.
Yeah. Blue rope had been used to tie the bin bags around the body. Despite these injuries, obviously pathologists couldn't establish a definitive medical cause of death just because it was so many years later.
Yeah.
But obviously this grisly discovery turned a missing person investigation into a murder inquiry.
Yep.
Detective Sergeant Mike Britton, who'd already spent more than a decade working on this case under the name Operation Denmark, he actually postponed his retirement so he could continue leading the Melanie Hall investigation. And Melanie's parents also made a fresh appeal for info, hoping that the discovery of her remains might encourage someone to finally come forward. And then investigators began examining every item recovered from the scene in really precise detail.
Forensically.
And what they actually found were 3 Ford vehicle keys, car keys, close to this bin bag. So police worked alongside Ford to try and identify a specific vehicle. They thought maybe that's a lead. Crime Watch broadcast another appeal, which actually brought in more than 200 calls from the public.
Wowie.
And the reward money was doubled to £20,000. And over the years, obviously, advances in forensic science continued to give detectives new ways to explore other means of, is there something here that they can work with? And in 2019, police did confirm that they managed to recover a partial DNA profile from the rope used around the bags to tie up the bin bags. So investigators said they did remain confident that they might and could eventually identify the person responsible. And Melanie's parents then popped that reward money up to £50,000.
So it's coming from their pocket. I was wondering where this money was coming from.
For info leading to an arrest and a conviction.
Okay.
This investigation has produced quite a few suspects and lines of inquiry, but no charges. So in 1998, detectives questioned a convicted killer called John Cannan, largely because of allegations that he had discussed planning what he described as the perfect abduction while serving a prison sentence.
That makes my stomach turn.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy. But he was actually in prison when Melanie disappeared. There were witnesses that say he was the man they saw that night. So I think, I'm not sure about that. I mean, if you're in prison, you're in prison. Maybe he had a weekend release at that time. Who knows?
Well, that would be on record. You can't just slip out for the evening.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think this is a thing.
No, they're usually not out for overnight as well. I don't think. I mean, I don't know, to be honest.
And it was the 90s. It was pretty wild back then. Police never found a connection there. And then a few other men over the years have been arrested on suspicion of Melanie's murder. There were 2 men in 2003 who were arrested but released without charge. Then in 2009, a man confessed that he was involved in her murder, but investigators ruled him out following psychiatric assessments. Then further arrests happened in 2010, 2013 and 2016 with suspects coming from Bath and Wiltshire, but every person was eventually released because there was never enough evidence to bring charges. By 2019, police confirmed that 11 arrests had been made during the investigation, but no one was ever charged with Melanie Hall's murder.
Because of lack of evidence. That doesn't mean that one of these 11 were not responsible.
Exactly. It's just they couldn't pin it down.
Yeah.
And then detectives also looked at, was there a connection here with criminal investigations? And they also made a connection with the disappearance of real estate agent Susie Lamplugh. Lamplugh, which is a big case in the UK in 86.
Yes, it is. She was an estate agent who went to show a house around and then was never seen again, and she was murdered.
Yeah.
It was a setup. The Susie Lamplugh Trust, which is organised by her, started by her mother, has actually campaigned to change the way that lone female estate agents would be safe while showing to the public and other professions and other women. It's a fantastic charity for women to stay safe out there in public, in the world, you know?
Exactly.
It's an amazing thing that's a legacy of Susie Lamplugh's unfortunate and tragic murder.
Well, disappearance, because she's never been found, I believe.
She's never been found?
I don't believe so.
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
They've never dismissed that there's a link between Melanie and Susie, and also they've never dismissed a possible link with an unidentified serial sex offender known as the Batman Rapist.
What?
Who attacked women in Bath at that same time frame.
Oh, God.
And one of those attacks involved an attempted carjacking at knife point only hours before Melanie disappeared.
Oh, Jesus.
And in the same part of the city.
Are you listening to me?
Why are you crying?
Eavesdroppin'.
Dropping trolley. Murdered. The police and detectives were like, there could be a link here. And I'm like, fuck yeah. She's gone missing in the same part of town. And this guy basically raped a woman at knife point hours earlier. Come on, guys. Look into that.
Yeah.
And of course, there were other names that have surfaced over the years in relation to Melanie, one including a serial killer called Levi Belfield.
Yes.
Although no evidence. Do we need to look into him in a future episode?
Oh, I don't know. It's very dark, very dark. Yes,
Okay.
he's responsible for the murder of quite a few women, very famous murders in and around West London.
Right. Well, there's never been a direct connection between him and Melanie, but they've also never ruled out that that's something there.
Right.
Also, they haven't ruled out involvement by a convicted murderer called Christopher Halliwell.
Oh, that's a familiar name.
Yeah, he's also up there in the Criminal Hall of Fame.
Christ.
Nearly 3 decades after Melanie Hall vanished, they still believe that answers lie with someone who's never spoken out. I'm sorry to say this investigation remains open, and forensic evidence continues to be reviewed again and again as technology develops. Hopefully, someone will come forward and that there will be someone who has to answer for Melanie Hall's murder.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little side note. Levi Belfield was responsible for a lot of high-profile murders, as I'd said. He was known as a bus stop stalker. He's also still the prime suspect in Susie Lamplou's disappearance.
Right.
And Paul Canan as well, who you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so that's why those guys are all up there as possible suspects.
These predatory, bloodthirsty men. What the hell?
I just have to think that there's mental health issues involved there.
You have to think that? I don't know. Some people are just sadists or power hungry. You know, not every rapist has mental health issues.
Yeah, that's true. And that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of that in mind, I'm going to move on to another unsolved mystery.
Okay, so today's an unsolved mystery. So there's no real satisfactory ending to our stories today.
Hold your horses, Nellie.
Prepare to be heartbroken. Oh, hold my horses again.
Hold your horses, Nellie. So this one is a cold case of a man who was found, and he was dubbed the North Sea Man.
Oh.
Yes. It reminded me of something that you had done, the Sligo Man.
The Sligo Man?
Wasn't that the Sligo Man that you did?
I thought you were talking about the guy that was found in...
The Australia guy? No, who?
No.
There's one that you did that was very similar. I thought it was the Sligo Man.
Recently, there was the diver that was found in, I think it was in Wales.
Right. Well, have a listen to this case because there's so many similar cases.
Mysterious. Okay.
When German border police pulled a man's body from the North Sea in July 1994, we're right in the middle of the 90s here, they had no idea that they were opening a case that, spoiler, would still be unsolved more than 30 years later. So again, we are looking at an unsolved case. But everything about this case was unusual. So the man clearly had not died by accident because he had these heavy cast iron cobblers shoe lasts.
Huh?
That were attached to his feet.
Shoe lasts? Oh, the things that you stick inside your boots or your shoes when you're not wearing them to keep their shape.
Exactly, in shape. Yeah. Or that cobblers use to actually shape shoes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Cast iron ones.
Ooh.
Heavy.
Wow.
Heavy motherfuckers. And he was very, very neatly dressed. To the point where when the media picked up on this, they nicknamed him the Gentleman.
Oh.
The body was recovered on the 11th of July, 1994, around 20 kilometres west of the German island of Heligoland.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. It's a small archipelago in the North Sea.
Lovely.
The German border guard vessel spotted the body floating in the water before bringing it ashore for examination. And investigators almost immediately believed that the location where he was found was probably not where he had entered the sea, mainly because currents in the North Sea apparently can carry bodies quite long distances.
Right.
Also, the post-mortem examination revealed signs of blunt force injuries to his head and upper body that had been inflicted while he was still alive.
Oh, no.
Obviously, I know. You're not going to bash a dead person, are you? So those injuries, together with the fact that he had those cast iron shoe cobblers attached to his body, they were like murder right from the start.
Yeah.
These shoe lasts themselves actually became one of the defining features of the case because each weighed around 3 kilos. They'd originally been used for female feet. So they were for female shoes. They had the initials AJK on them, which meant that they were produced by AJ Jackson, which is a company based in Bristol in the UK. Despite having that, no one could find a connection of who might have bought them and attached them to this body. Investigators also paid close attention to what the man was wearing because, as we know, clothes can really give strong clues. He was dressed in a pale blue long-sleeved shirt, navy trousers, leather dress shoes, and a green and yellow and blue striped wool tie. And apparently the whole combination was quite dapper. that was also one reason why he began to be called in the press the Gentleman of Heligoland, which was a nickname that really stuck to this case.
It's quite catchy.
Yes, but investigators are really keen to move away from that because it gave the impression that he was wealthy or from a fancy background.
Okay.
Even though there was never any evidence to support that.
Yes.
Because he was tidy and well-dressed, but nothing about his clothes suggested wealth or status. The nickname, the Gentleman, pushed him down a road that was not really true.
Yeah.
But there were quite a few assumptions made during the early part of the investigation that have since been corrected. Now, the striped tie initially attracted attention because they thought, oh, does this belong to some kind of private club or a professional organisation or a military association? Turns out it was actually a Marks and Spencer tie.
Right, which would position him in the UK, from the UK.
Well, no. They
No?
realised it was sold across England and French-speaking markets, including Canada.
Oh.
So that was like, oh, shit. That really made the search quite far. Then they also realised that his leather shoes had been repaired quite a few times and might even have been secondhand. They weren't very distinctive, so that was not really a lead. But he himself was quite distinctive. He was tall. They think he was anywhere between 188 and 198 centimetres. And when they did later forensics, they kind of thought he was around 196.
Okay.
So that's really tall. They thought he was between 45 and 50 when he died, but no one ever came forward to identify anyone that matched that description. For years, the investigation just remained pretty cold, with German police continuing to appeal for information. But every lead they got led nowhere. And then a significant turning point came decades later when the case was taken on by an organisation called the International Cold Case Analysis Project, or known as ICCAP. This initiative brings together universities and forensic scientists and police agencies from different countries to re-examine unsolved investigations using DNA and techniques that just didn't exist when the cases first went cold. So one of the universities was Murdoch University in Perth in Western Australia.
Okay. Murdoch as in...
Murdoch University. I guess the
that
Murdoch.
guy. What's his name again?
Rupert. He probably funded this.
Rupert, that's it.
There was a forensic scientist there called Dr. Brendan Chapman, and he and his students began reviewing all of the evidence alongside researchers from Staffordshire University and Plymouth Marjon University and Locate International and Police Academy of Lower Saxony in Germany. So there's quite a few people on this.
A lot of people involved.
One of the Australian team's first recommendations was exhume that body. And that did happen in December 2021. They then could actually get fresh samples, which they could use for modern DNA analysis. So the exhumation also allowed researchers to look at stable isotope analysis on the man's bones because unlike DNA, isotope analysis, it doesn't identify a specific person, but it does provide clues about where someone may have lived.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because they look at naturally occurring chemical elements absorbed through things like food and water.
Yes.
And I didn't know this, but apparently different parts of the world produce different
soil samples,
isotopic signatures. Yes.
Right. Yes, I can understand that.
So bones and teeth can give clues.
Wow.
And when the results came back, they absolutely shocked everyone. It wasn't Germany or any other European country that the isotopes pointed towards. It was Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. So apparently it appeared that this guy had spent a lot of his life in Australia. And then obviously this means this is wide open.
Wide open. Did he fall out of a plane?
I know, like that guy that we had.
DB. What's his name?
Yeah. DB.
Cooper.
Well done. When this Australian connection went public in 2022, investigators got loads of fresh info. They thought, God, maybe we're going to find something here. But no, they haven't. They're still working on it. As it stands, no one knows this guy's name. No one knows where he was killed. No one knows where he entered the water. And no one knows why there were those bloody shoe lasts on his body.
No one knows. That's the end of that.
But they're still actively investigating. So someone knows something, and maybe for our Aussie listeners, maybe this is
time to write in.
Time to write in if you know anything. But I am going to finish on one last case.
Okay.
This is the case of the Chelsea man. Again, for nearly 30 years, no one knew who the man found dead in a quiet Chelsea street in London actually was.
This is so disturbing, isn't it? Because this was the same as the guy who I told you about who was found in the water in the mountains in Wales. No one knows who that person is either. It's how did these people go missing and no one knows who they are?
And why is there nobody making a report? Like, where's, my dad, my brother, my
husband, my dad, my brother,
my best friend? Like, it's really sad. So this guy, he became known just as the Chelsea man because that's all investigators had. They had no ID on his body, no missing persons report matched anything, and no family that they could trace. He just died alone in London, and this mystery would sit unsolved for 30 years. His body was discovered on the 16th of February 1994 in an open kind of alcove on Bury Walk in Kensington and Chelsea. And this is really sad. He died from exposure during the cold winter weather. Yeah.
Oh, was he homeless?
Well,
unhoused.
They think that he did have the appearance of a semi-vagrant, is what they call him, suggesting, he had been sleeping rough, mainly because the only thing they found on him was what they thought was literally everything this guy probably owned. There was a black sports bag, which had some clothes. There was 10 quid in cash. There was a Ladbrokes Racing Tips booklet and a small red notebook, which turned out to be the biggest clue in this case. Oh. Because written inside was the name Vincent, followed by a surname that the investigators could not read. And finally, they interpreted this name, the surname, as, it's hard to pronounce, Akpiroroh. Akpiroroff. Akpiroroh. It's hard. God knows.
Wow.
And then they thought similar variations, and they put all those variations into appeals for years and years, but nobody with that surname existed, and the search went nowhere. So looking back now, it seems like the answer to this case was there from the beginning, because this notebook, it was in all the files. It was never hidden away or rediscovered years later.
Out and open?
It was in that case file all along. Yeah. But one misread surname sent this investigation down the wrong path, literally for decades. And the police and the UK Missing Persons Unit continually tried to identify this guy, but nothing came of it, and the case gradually went cold. It wasn't until Locate international volunteer Emma Tilley decided she was going to take another look at this case that things finally began to move. And she, bless her, a volunteer, spent more than a year working through Vincent's case. Instead of accepting that surname, she went back to the original notebook, and using enhanced imaging technology, they looked at the handwriting again, and they realised that surname had been read incorrectly all those years ago.
Thought so.
It wasn't Akpiroroh, whatever. It was Akpiroroh.
Ah.
And that one correction changed everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Now they could trace that name, and they've quickly found a family connection. And from there, Vincent's story slowly started to come together. So his full name was Vincent Akpiroroh. He was born in London on the 28th of September in 1961 to Nigerian parents before the family went back to Nigeria when he was still a child.
Oh.
But years later, in the late 1980s, Vincent came back to the UK with his dad, but he was deaf and unable to speak, and he only could communicate by writing notes. And he had hoped to attend a school for people with disabilities so he could get treatment and build this life in London. But it didn't work out, Geordie. And according to info that was uncovered during the new investigation, He initially received accommodation and support, but he became frustrated with his living arrangements where communication was difficult. The other people that he was living with didn't share his particular disability.
Yeah.
So he kind of drifted away from support services and eventually ended up sleeping rough around the Clapham Junction area.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
I know.
He was young.
Really young. And after that, what happened is kind of hazy. Investigators believe he gradually lost contact with people who knew him. He became estranged from friends and lost contact with his family and was last seen alive in early 1994, before being found dead just weeks later in Chelsea.
Oh,
and there's no evidence that anyone else was involved in his death. It was just exposure, which is so sad that people still die of the cold in this day and age.
Yeah.
This one researcher who put the time in actually made this big discovery in this case. And once Locate International identified Vincent's real surname, they traced an address linked to his family, which was actually occupied by the son of one of Vincent's dad's friends. And that's how they were able to visually identify Vincent from historical images, because what Locate had also done was using clues from the case file, the original case file. They put together a new identity picture of him, of what he could have looked like.
Right.
And it was really accurate. And his family in Nigeria were told what had happened. And finally, they had answers after all those decades about, yes, this is your son and he died of exposure.
Oh, wow.
One of the really sad things about this case, though, is because Vincent died without being identified.
Yeah.
Records relating to the disposal of his remains were destroyed.
So they don't know where he is?
Nope.
Oh.
No one knows where he's buried. And this woman from Locate, Emma Tilley, she's still investigating and she hopes to uncover maybe some records to shed some light on where he might be. Because if his grave can be found, the charity have said they would like to raise funds for a headstone so Vincent's real name can finally appear where he is laid to rest.
Absolutely. Wow, Michelle.
I feel like that small notebook had that answer from the very beginning.
All the way through, exactly.
And it took 30 years and research to take a second look, and maybe something could happen for the Chelsea man. But obviously it's really a great end to this podcast that at least one missing person was identified.
Yeah, because there was no one trying to hide his death as well.
No.
And it sounds like Vincent sadly just slipped through the cracks and wasn't able to get the support that he needed and wasn't able to advocate for himself either.
No.
Because of his disabilities. That is really, really, truly heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh. And I want to say that kudos and respect and well done to all of the people who felt so compelled to follow through on these stories. The people who were about to retire or had retired, the people who were volunteering for the missing persons companies, so many people just won't let this go. And good, because these were human beings and they deserve to be respected even in death. Their families deserve to have answers.
They do. And I understand that our police forces world over are stretched and don't have funding for this. And the fact that people give up their time and volunteer to do this is amazing. So obviously not every case will have a resolution, but this one did. And it's fantastic. So I thought we'd end on a high.
Thanks, Michelle. Ending on a high. That's what you've just done.
Keep your wellness routine going strong all summer. Kachava's new travel packs help you stick to your daily ritual even when you're on the go. Just one packet of Kachava's all-in-one nutrition shake provides complete nutrition wherever you are. With 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, greens, adaptogens, and more. Simplify your daily ritual. Go to Kachava.com and use code SMOOTHIE for 15% off. That's KACHAVA.com, code SMOOTHIE.
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears. And when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
There. However, I do have a little something to throw in at the end, a little outro if you like. You know how I like to scroll on the Instagrams? Well, this one comes from an account that we have heard from before. It's called Terrifying History on Instagram. You have done a link to this account before. This one is bizarre slangs from the medieval times and what they mean. Do you want to hear a few?
Sure.
Govemoosh.
Govemoosh?
Govemoosh. That is a gullible person.
Oh, what a bloody govemoosh.
Don't be such a govemoosh. What was that one that people used to say they've taken gullible out of the dictionary?
Oh,
have they?
God. Oh, terrible.
Yeah, that one. That's stupid. What about giggle mug? Someone who smiles stupidly all the time.
A giggle mug. Yeah, but that makes sense, I guess.
That makes sense. Yeah. Fusty lugs.
Fusty
That's a lazy person.
Okay.
Come on, you fusty lugs. I might call one of my children that. Let's see. Ragamuffin, we know that word.
We do.
It means messy or dirty person, and that makes sense. And we still use that word today, I think.
It's quite cute. A little ragamuffin.
Ragamuffin. Muck spout.
A muck spout.
That's someone who basically talks bullshit.
Oh, okay. Yes, a muck spout.
Bullshit. Muck spout out of your gob. Fop doodle. That's one of my favourites.
Oh, cute.
A fop doodle. I want to bring that back. That's
What is it?
A fool or a dishonest servant or a rogue.
Oh, you fop doodle.
Fop doodle.
I just like the word doodle.
Don't be such a fop doodle. Wagtail. Someone who talks too much.
Okay.
Fustelarian. It kind of is what it sounds like. It's a smelly old alcoholic. Fustelarian.
Oh, I thought it was going to be somebody who was obsessive compulsive.
No, fustelarian. Fusty. Oh,
Ew.
you spit fusty old, smelly old alky. Finally, my favourite one of all, and it's not really a great description for it, but it's hufty tufty.
A hufty tufty. What's a hufty tufty?
A bragger. Don't be such a
Oh.
Well, look at him over there, hufty tuftying all over the joint. Yes.
He's a bloody hufty tufty. Oh, well, they are lovely.
Aren't they?
And there's not a swear word amongst it.
So maybe we should replace a few of the swears that we use with
Get
some of
fucked.
our medieval. Okay. Oh, one more TV rec, by the way.
Yes.
I forgot about this, but Tim the Magic Music Man was visiting last night and he and I watched the Rick Mayall documentary that's just come out.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Magnificent Bastard. It was amazing. Amazing.
Did you cry?
Yeah.
It was. I bet that's emotional.
I did.
Actually.
Adrian Edmondson. They were best of friends. I'm not going to say any more, but you just need to see it. There was a bit of, there's a bit of sadness about how their friendship kind of ended at one point and they never got a chance to put it right. So I did tell you what happens, but go and watch it.
I will.
You get to see people like Ben Elton, Adrian Edmondson, Rick Mayall's children feature.
It sounds great.
Lots of other people that you love from the 80s and 90s comedy.
British comedy
era.
Yeah.
Nigel Planer, Neil from The Young Ones, and other things.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see that.
Lots of clips.
I've got that on my list along with the Billy Idol Should Be Dead.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yes, that'll be great. I'll pop that on the Patreon Telerex. Also, I did watch the Kylie doc.
I gave up.
Didn't love it. She's so boring.
Really boring.
She's so boring, and the only interesting thing about her doc was the other people. Michael Hutchence.
Right.
And actually, it was so strange to see Nick Cave, who looks like he's had some kind of eyelid surgery.
Oh.
Yes, I think he's had some kind of facelift or
A
something.
little bit of a tweak.
And he was gushing about her.
Yeah. Well, they all loved it, didn't they?
Who knew? But yeah, a bit boring. I mean, I watched it, but didn't love it.
Okay. Well, thank you for all your writings in and recommendations, you lovely eavesdroppers.
Yes, thank you.
We love it, as you know. So keep doing it. And we'll keep doing this week in, week out. And in the meantime, there's only
3 things left to say.
and that is,
Wherever you are,
whatever you do, just keep
eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping all day long. Eavesdropping. This is the song. Drop it like it's hot.
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.